Hello everyone, Strikoder here and welcome back to a new episode of the OSCP journey. Today's episode actually it's going to be our first time solving a media machine, so we are improving over time. A Windows machine called Chatterbox. This machine covers a new port which is 2956 and 2955, which are about Achat chat system. We're gonna check that in a while. So let's take our IB, ping that to ensure our connection. So here we are pinging, we are receiving the response. So I'm connected. If you are new to this series, you need to be connected through the VPN to hack the box. Then you need to run Nmap. I've run that before, so let me show you the results. Here we have SMB, both of those results, and here we have the Achat, and as you can see nothing more is gonna be interested for us. So let me check again. Yeah, nothing is gonna be interesting. So here we have 2955 and 2956. How to exploit them? So in order to exploit them, let's search for the name on Searchsploit. So I prefer always to start with Searchsploit. If I haven't found anything regarding the vulnerability that I'm searching, I would search within Metasploit. Then I would go to Google. However, let's start with Searchsploit, and I'm gonna say Achat. As you can see here, we see a couple of them. So here, a Metasploit one. I prefer always to run the without Metasploit. However, there are several videos where I run Metasploit exploits in order to cover Metasploit and not to forget the basics about it, and to be familiar always with it, because as far as I remember, I've used Metasploit twice in the PT1 exam, and I'm gonna share that within my review of the exam. However, let's copy that. So let me make a new directory. I would call it to delete, and let me copy that into here. So I'm gonna say Searchsploit-m to copy the file into our directory. So it's not verified. We need to take that in mind. Let me try. I would always try with Python 3. So here we see there are no braces or parentheses for print, which means that it's running with the old Python. So here we just getting both, okay, but nothing is running or nothing happens. So let's check the code. So if that is your first time checking the code, don't be terrified, just be calm and let's read the code together. So here, as we can see, they are including the Python, which means this file is a Python file. Here is the author, the vulnerability that would run on chat, this version 0.150 beta 7, and here they are telling us it is a buffer overflow tested on Windows 7. So here they are giving us a command, and we need to edit the command in order to be specific for us. So let's take that. I'm gonna copy this code. Oops. So let me take that, and actually I'm gonna stay here and let me go to here. So in order to run this with an RCE, we need to edit a couple of things. So first of all, we need to get over here. Oops, I cannot do that with the mouse. Not here. So over here, we need to tell that we need reverse shell. So we start by platform Windows. So we are specifying that Windows 86, and here instead of Windows exec and cmd calc exe, we're gonna say Windows shell reverse tcp lhost. So if you are new and this is your first video watching a CTF, I recommend you watching previous videos just in case. Here is how you get your IP, that the tunnel that you are connected through to the HackTheBox 10.10.14.33, and let's say L port, it's gonna be 4444 as usual, or you can specify if you are lit enough 1337. I prefer to stay on 4444, and we're gonna keep everything as it is. I'm gonna press enter. So we got this hex. I'm gonna take that and paste it over here. And then don't forget to delete this as well. Now I believe we need to edit. Oopsie. Nah, I prefer to use the terminal, the keyboard shortcuts, and over here we need to edit the IP as well. So the server address that we are targeting, not ours, it's gonna be this. And I believe that's it. Whether we need a netcat or not, I'm not sure. Let me do that in advance and then run the code. So yeah, we need that. You can run within netcat or you can get an MSF handler. However, let's check our privileges for now. So who am I? We are Chatterbox Alfred. Let me get the flag. So it's gonna be inside users, then Alfred, then desktop, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, and type user.text. Let me copy that, paste it into the box over here. So for now, how do we get our privilege? How to escalate our privileges? So first of all, I always like to start with WinPEAS, and that's why I have that already done and ready to be shown. So let me get that up for you. And here we see registry stuff, not that interesting for us. System environment variables, also not that interesting. We try to get anything that might be sus or a vector for the privilege escalation. Here the .NET. Here we see some groups with passwords, nothing interesting. We see our user. Here are the users, administrator, Alfred. So our way is gonna be directly to administrator. There is no other user that we need to change to or to pivot to then in order to pivot to administrator, which you might rarely see on some boxes. We see here Achat is installed, VMware, Windows Defender, nothing interesting. Here most of the time that is not our way through, so just skip the registry. And here we see some Windows BAS that you might take over and do a binary or escalate your privileges through them. Here we see the netano. So we have already seen all of these, I believe, yep, TCP ports. So nothing is internal that we can take advantage of. And so far nothing was interesting, so I'm just trying to save time, and let me get that up. So nothing was interesting, as we have seen. After, like directly after WinPEAS, I would always run wmi/privs. Okay, wmi is here. It's /priv, not privs. So we don't see any privilege that we can escalate through. If you are interested through which privileges, then be sure to hit the like and the subscribe buttons, because I believe next week I'm gonna publish a video where we're gonna take advantage of the impersonate. However, in our case, we cannot do that. So let me get back through the WinPEAS. Let me get back over here and let me go down a little bit. In order to save time, I'm gonna search for the administrator directly. So here we see searching executable files in a non-default folders with right permission or equivalent permissions. So here we see that we had access to the administrator, to the download inside administrator. Let me get that up again, and oops, let me get that out of our way, and keep getting that. So within here, let me get back a little bit and cd into administrator directory, and here we see that we have access. So in order to see our privileges over here, we can use the -q and -a to -q to for the privileges, or for the, I would say, authority, for the people that has access. I forgot the word that we can use in specifically here, and to view hidden files within the A. So here we see, let me make that better. So over here we see that we can reach those by the built-in administrator. However, we still have access to that. So let's go to the desktop and let me use this again. So here we see that we have access to the root, but if we try to read that, we get access is denied. So why is that? We see that the folder is controlled by the NT authority system, but we can have access to the root, but we are not granted access to read the file. So in order to solve this issue, we can use the Icacls. If you are not familiar with that, try to make a small Google search with that, and you're gonna be amused. And you need to provide the name of the file that you need to take the privileges of, or the permission of, and you're gonna grant the permission to Alfred, and here you say F. So here we see that, okay, we have now the access to the root file. Oops, I have a typo, not tab, type root.txt, if I might type that correctly, and here is our flag. So thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to watch other videos, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. See you next time.